What's up people, Wesley the personal trainer here. Today I'm gonna give you 5 quad exercises that you need to do in your leg routine to make sure you're gonna be Quadzilla. Let's go. Number 1 is the leg extension. This is like one of the best machines for quads because you cannot do anything else than moving your quads. Thing is, we need to make sure you're gonna be aligned with the machine. Your knees needs to be aligned with the same turning point as the machine. Make sure you don't have too much weight on it when you start because you need to warm up a little bit. From there, we're gonna move the cam all the way to the front. We want to have that stretch, as you can see, from the hips and the knees and the ankles. We need to have a really big angle backwards. Ideally, we want to have a little bit more range of motion backwards, but the machine doesn't allow me to because this is the biggest range of motion from the machine. There are things you can do to make sure you're gonna have a little bit extra range of motions. I know they're selling a lot of pads nowadays to get a little bit of range of motion. Maybe I'm gonna get that one day because I want to get that big stretch on the quads. From that moment, we're gonna go up. Feet shoulder width is always good to have, and always on the way back, we're gonna make sure we're gonna be slow because there is the wind, there is the tension. So getting it slow, controlled on the way down, then go all the way up. Make sure you're gonna use that range of motion. Look when the weight is gonna be almost dropping to the other stack, and then we're gonna go up. I like to have my toes out, toes up a little bit, and from here you can really contract that quad muscle. Go up and go slow on the way down. Because it's a machine, you cannot do anything else but moving your legs. I want to emphasize that because it's a really good one to start off, to warm up a little bit, to get going to the other exercises. So I would say do this one in your leg routine because it's so good. Up to the second one. Before I'm moving on with my leg exercises, I want to make sure I gotta get the right shoes. These are weightlifting shoes used for deadlifts, squats, because they have a little bit higher heel and they way more supportive than normal shoes. People use a lot of running shoes when they do leg training, but then you're very wobbly, and that's not what I would recommend. To go for like a very good weightlifting shoe, this is the Romaleus from Nike, but I know there's other ones out there. But this I really like because you can also strap your foot. It's really stable. So if you want to push your leg day to another level, get weightlifting shoes. I really would recommend that. Now let's move on. For the second one, I like to do the Smith machine squat because it's very nice to isolate the movement because you cannot go forward, you cannot go backwards, you only can go down. What we're gonna do, we're gonna stand in the middle of the machine so your middle foot is aligned. What I like to do is gonna have shoulder width or maybe a little bit outside, and we have the toes out. That's important because we want to move open. From that moment we're gonna squat, but we're not gonna squat with the butt back. We're gonna make sure from the moment we start squatting, the knees go forward. So we're gonna move the knees forward over the toes. We're gonna go as deep as you possibly can, comfortably can, and then from here we have our big stretch on the quads, and then we're gonna go back up again. So we really want to get slow into that quad position. You're gonna have your core tight, so we don't gonna have any problems with our lower backs. And from here, we're gonna go up again. Gonna go slow on the way down. And then from here, we're gonna go up. This is a very effective one because we cannot do anything else than moving our quads. There you go. Go sit nice and deep. Here, if you want, you can pause at the bottom for one long second. We call it like 21, and then go back up again. Woof. This is one that you really need to try out because it's very good. You don't have to go that heavy, because if you go too heavy, maybe you will get lower back pain and stuff like that, so you cannot control the weight anymore. So go with like a lower weight, higher rep count, which will be fine because you're gonna be in that deep stretch. It's perfect. Now let's go to number 3. So number 3 is the hack squat, and the hack squat is also very nice because you're kind of isolated on the pads and you cannot move a lot with your upper body, so that's very good so you can really focus on those legs. What we're gonna do when we're gonna do the hack squat and we're gonna emphasize the quads, we're gonna go down, and as you comfortably can with your feet on the ground, So whenever you're gonna go down, your feet needs to be still on the pads. That's very important. So when you go down, we don't have to come up. We need to stay here. And if you feel you need to move a little bit with your toes up, that's fine. But again, we want to look in that big stretch angle. We want to go in that chicken leg form. That's what we want to do. We want the hamstrings need to touch the calves. And from here, we're gonna go back up again. What I really like to do here is we're gonna go slow, slow, slow. Sink it in, have a little, what I like to do is to make blub. What I like to do is to get my hips against the pad. So I'm really having my chest up and I have a really, really slight arch in my back to make sure I can really, so I don't have a butt wink here. So I still have my hips against the pad. So from here, we're gonna go back up again. Slow on the way down. Then from here, we're gonna go up again. You really need to do this one as well because it's so freaking good. My knees are a little bit over my toes, so we know we're on the good side. And from here, we're gonna go. If you want to do like a crazier variation, you go even more down. But then it's even almost impossible to get the feet on the pad. So from there, we're gonna go on the toes. And then we're gonna move forward. And as you can see now, the angle is even more, my knees is more above the toes. So there's gonna be a bigger stretch here on the quads. And then I'm gonna go back up again on the toes here. And then we're gonna press again. I don't like to lock out. It's only when I really need that rest moment and I can control it. Otherwise, I always stay a little bit lower in that bouncy position. But from here, make sure you're gonna go out with your feet and your toes and your knees, and then gonna go back up again. Woo! This is really nice. There you go. Let's go to number 4. For the 4th one, we're gonna do the Nordic squats. And why it's called Nordic, I have no idea. But anyways, what we're gonna do, we're gonna sit on the floor. We're gonna make sure that our feet are like this. If you can do it. For me, it's hurting a little bit, so maybe I'm gonna take off my shoes later. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna make sure we're gonna go here and we're gonna go all the way back as far as you comfortably can. So we're gonna have a big stretch on here. And from here, we're gonna go with the quads. We're gonna go forward. So we're gonna go backwards, we're getting into that stretch position, and we're gonna go forward. The deep stretch in this exercise is crazy. But first, let me take off my shoes. I think it's gonna be more easy. Okay, there you go. This is way better because you can see my feet can now be a little bit more flat. And from here, I'm gonna lean back, and I'm gonna go back to the beginning position. So from here, we're gonna go back as far as you can. As you see, I'm not that flexible. So from here, we're gonna go back. Ooh, and we're gonna go up. Having my feet a little bit out makes it a little bit easier. And then we're gonna go back. The big stretch lays in that you're gonna be from here. Of course, what I told you earlier, the hamstrings is touching the calves. So when we're sitting here and we're gonna lean back, there's gonna be a big stretch here on that quad. When you're doing it with the band, it will make sure that you go back because you're in that stretch position. You need to come back and it's really hard to get back if you don't have an elastic like this. So please do this once, maybe a little bit on the beginning, also to warm up and to stretch up a little bit. It's not very easy to overload this one. So I would say do this like more in the beginning, but it's a really good one to get that deep stretch. Now to the finisher, the last one, the craziest squat exercises of all, the sissy squat. Let's go. And for the last one, the sissy squat. This is a killer. Make sure you're gonna get some rope. Get the stack all the way up because it's not anything to do with any weights. What we're gonna do, we're gonna hold on to this. From the moment we're gonna squat, because we're gonna make a squat, we're gonna make sure our knees are gonna go forward. I like to push the body back, and then from here we're gonna go back up again, oof, into that quad. This is a cool finisher because it's very big stretch on that quad position. Sometimes when I cannot go up again, I'm gonna make a different move. So here I'm gonna go knees forward as much as you can. You can even try to touch the floor without losing tension and balance, as you can see. I mean, I'm not there yet. Let's make that very clear. So from here, go forward, and when you cannot go back from this position up, you're gonna move back, go into that squat position, and go up again to make it a little bit easier to get up. But man, this is a killer. From here, again, hamstrings to calves. And from there, you gotta go back up again. Oh my God, this is heavy. You need to do the sissy squat for those quads because they are gonna kill you. So there you have it, 5 quad exercises that you need to do in the gym to make sure they're getting a little bigger. These are my top exercises and there are so many more. So let me know in the comments which quad exercise you think is good to do for me. I hope you learned something from me. I hope I can learn something from you. And then I will see you in the next one.